How you doing?
Good.
shivered in.
I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight for the Buxton Budget Committee meeting. We're going to start right off with the South Buxton Cemetery Association. Brent Hill.
Well, thank you. Brent Hill, I'm one of the directors, and we have Chad Poitras here tonight also, another director. And we have to say thank you for continuing support. It's been quite a few years. The town has been supporting the cemetery, and we appreciate it because we can use the money to preserve the dignity and the beauty of the cemetery and keep it as a resource for the town. The money we're requesting, we have two items, just the same as last year, support of the paupers lots, and our ongoing tree program, which we have to prevent older trees from falling into monuments, that sort of thing, and doing that type of damage. And hopefully as we plant newer trees, they'll be less dangerous ones. I've given you the preliminary financial results. Looks good this year, although we haven't allocated our money to perpetual care yet. I think the last time we did it, we did about $10,000 to perpetual care, lock that up, and the state minimum's more like $5,250, but we've been trying to do more than the minimum. We also have the two main projects that we're doing right now, the road ditches and entrances project and the new second columbarium. So those are significant projects for us and significant cash flow, especially on the columbarium, but we'll be depreciating that so it doesn't affect the immediate results on our earnings. Chad, do you want to say something?
No, we've got a wonderful crew over there that's working. The maintenance has been really nice. We get a lot of good compliments about that. So just trying to keep this little treasure in the town going smooth and looking as nice as it does.
For some reason, last summer we had a good crew and good weather or something, and our costs were down. So we were pleasantly pleased on that.
Question, Luke?
I'm all set. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Mike?
Yeah, hold on a second.
Dave?
All right, so I think last year we talked about the same thing, is the funds. So total permanent restricted funds, you're at a little over $212,000. And those are funds that are used to take care of the actual cemetery.
Well, those are restricted funds, so we don't do our operations out of those funds. Those funds are funds where we can draw on the interest if we need to, and we haven't been, because we've had a few good years here, and we're trying to build up the perpetual care fund so that the cemetery would not be a burden on the town or anybody in the future.
So essentially what happens is the state requires that we put a certain percentage of lot sales into this perpetual care account that we really that we really can't legally touch. So we're able to use some of the interest from the account, but we can't touch really the principal. That's used in its term perpetual care. That's going to be used in the event of the board dissolving or whatever might come up along the way. At that point in time is the only time that those funds could be accessed and used. So the funds are there, but we really can't touch them.
But we need the funds. I mean, eventually, a few hundred years from now, the cemetery will fill up, I suppose.
Okay, so then you have under unrestricted funds, you have $153,000, a little over $153,000. And those are not restricted, so that I'm assuming can be used for anything.
Unrestricted, yes, for unrestricted funds, and that's going to be a large part of the cash flow that we need to buy the, what, $60,000 columbarium, and people like columbariums, and we should get a return on that.
What is it?
A columbarium, a mausoleum is
Oh,
an
okay.
above-ground burial for
Yeah.
caskets, a columbarium's for urns.
You'll find out someday.
Yeah.
It sits down back of the Woodman Road, so, you know, driving by River Road, you don't see it, but if you swing by Woodman Road, it stands right out there.
Okay, so as you did last year, you're asking for money to work on the roads again.
No, last year we asked for money.
Didn't you just say that's one of your big projects? Didn't you just say that's one of your big projects?
Well, yes, it's one of our big projects, but we weren't able to schedule the funds. We asked for the money in the 2024-25 fiscal year, and we weren't able to spend it in '24, but we do intend to spend all the money that the town gave us for that fiscal year before the end of June. So where we hadn't spent the money, we didn't feel like we should come to the town and ask them for more, especially because with the money outstanding, we're not going to have much more beyond that, but we don't know just how much. So we're not asking for any of that this year, and that's why we've got a 40% decrease.
So what are you asking for this year?
We're asking for 2,000, I get my glasses.
$5,594.
Yes, and the parts of that are 2,294 for the paupers lots, at the same rate as the town supports veterans lots, and our ongoing tree plan for 3,003. That's in the first cover letter that we sent. That's the second cover letter I think you have.
So you still have the funds from last year,
And we,
and you're asking for an additional $5,000 this year?
well, no, last year we asked for quite a bit. We asked for popper lots, which you gave us, we asked for the tree support, which you gave us, and we asked for the ditches and entrances money, which you gave us. And where we hadn't been able to complete that, we only asked for the poppers lots and the ditch and the tree work. So we're only our normal 2 items.
So of last year, you asked for, 5,300, no. $9,500.
Yes,
And so of that $9,500, you've used some but not all, or you've used none of it?
we used it all except the $4,000 for the ditches and entrances. And we anticipate using that within the fiscal year.
On what?
Ditches and entrances. The Route 112 River Road where the ditches were so bad.
That's where I think I'm running into an issue, because I think you're asking the taxpayers to give you money to do work that you have the funds available to do it. You're sitting on $153,000. You're saying that the ditches and stuff are gonna be $4,000. Yeah, I think you're asking the taxpayers for too much.
Too much this
As much
year or
as-
too
as
much
much-
every year?
I think between last year and this year.
Well, we're 41% decrease, so
I see
most,
that.
most people don't come in with a 41%
Yeah, yeah.
decrease.
Okay, I'm good.
Dave? How many veterans' graves are you maintaining?
That's a different budget request. You've got a separate request for all the veterans' graves in Buxton. And I don't know the number
I
offhand.
don't know the number off the top of my head, I apologize for.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
A lot.
Quite a few veterans in Buxton, and I don't think South Buxton has most of them. I think because they're all so scattered around, but
Well, my question was, were you spending money on veterans' graves too?
Yes, but we requested that with all the other cemeteries.
I'm going to the Sixth Cemetery Association.
Yes,
To
all the
list
others.
out veterans' graves, and I'm questioning whether you're putting in money in this account to take care of veterans' graves,
No,
and then the Sixth Cemetery Association is doing the same thing.
this request is just for Harper's lots and tree work, and then you've got another budget line item for all the veterans' graves. And I can't remember the normal article number, but it's a separate article in the warrant, and you budget it separately.
Okay, so on the Sixth Cemetery,
Yeah.
the budget they're asking for is $18,750.
That's last year's numbers, Mike. Current year, they're asking for
Oh,
19,653.50.
sorry. 19,653.15. And according to this, there's 830 total number of veterans as of October 30th, 2004.
I think that should be at $23.65 a lot, $23.65 a veteran. Which isn't too much for a whole summer's worth of lawn cutting and other care.
Thank you for spending or asking for 41% now.
Can't guarantee it every,
No, but I'll
can't
take it right now.
guarantee it every year, but we figured that we'd get our job done before we asked for anything else.
I appreciate it.
Good enough.
All set? Everybody all set?
I'm good.
All set.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you there.
Just trying to find out where Joe did. Yeah. Next is the Red Cross.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Am I close enough to this? All right. Hi, my name is Matt Harmon. I am a Wyndham resident, and by day I work for MEMIC in downtown Portland, but I'm also a volunteer with the Red Cross. Currently serve as the board chair for the Southern Maine Board, which covers York County and Cumberland County, and I've been on the board since 2016. You recently received a submission for a budget request from Lauren Jordan, who couldn't be here tonight, so I'm here on the Red Cross's behalf, explaining a ask for $1,500, which is the same amount of an ask that was approved back for fiscal year 2023 to 2024. Submitted along with the application is a disaster response overview for fiscal year ending 2024 for York County. And in this you'll see that the Red Cross responded to 43 disasters during that one-year period, the majority of which are home fires. And when you think of a home fire, think of a situation in the middle of the night where your local fire department responds to a call, and the fire chief or somebody involved calls the Red Cross, and they come out in the dark of night with volunteers. Could be mental health volunteers, could be providing financial assistance, eyeglasses, medications, helping with pets and things like that on a case-by-case basis. Typically it's home fires for single families, but it could be an apartment complex. Whatever the need is, the Red Cross has a response for that. In addition to that, they helped with educating 46 families with a Making Home Safer plan, talking about escape routes and advising them on how much time they have to leave the residence if there is a fire. There are 128 volunteers in York County with the Red Cross. You'll note in the materials that 90% of the Red Cross's workforce is volunteers. During this year, there were 155 blood drives in York County, collecting nearly 4,000 pints of blood. And over 1,200 residents in York County were provided with safety training in the areas of first aid, CPR, babysitting, and water safety. And lastly, over 120 York County service members, veterans and their families, were provided emergency communication and other services, including counseling and financial assistance. So, as you can see, there's a wide variety of services the Red Cross provides locally, well beyond the collection of life-saving blood. So, I am just here to point out this need that is always constant. And I will also point out, I've been on this board for going on 9 years now, and the amount of local responses that are required because of weather events, think heavy rains and flooding and ice dams and things like that, is only increasing. So we're seeing more disasters now in Maine related to weather events than we were seeing 5 or 10 years ago. So, and I don't think that's going to be changing anytime soon. So, I want to thank you for your past support of the Red Cross, and at least a couple of prior years, you were very generous in granting a request, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Luke?
All set for now.
Mike?
I'm good.
Dave? Tyler?
I'm all set.
I might have a question.
Yeah.
The American Red Cross, I just got to bring this up every time. We have the Salvation Army that never comes to ask for a dime, and I wish we would send them a little bit. My dad came back from World War II into New York, and the American Red Cross was selling coffee and donuts across, right on top of where the ship docked. Queen Mary, and Salvation Army was giving it away. That's all I got.
Selectmen, any questions? Bill?
Thank you for what you do.
Yep,
All right, thank you for your time.
What do you do?
Next on my list was Weymouth Park, but Nick called me and he had problems. He couldn't make it tonight. So we'll try him next week. Anybody here for the Cub Scouts? Up to West Buxton Library.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Bart McCrum with West Buxton Public Library, and I just want to read a brief little statement here. And the West Buxton Public Library enriches the cultural resources of the community by providing access to written, oral, and electronically recorded material, both fiction and nonfiction, and reference material. It provides access to the internet, computers for public use, and maintains a facility that is available to the public for nonprofit meetings and events. Currently, the library holds every Tuesday of the month from 10:30 to 11 a.m. story time for the kids. Once every, the second Wednesday of every month, we have the Creative Writers Workshop that's run by Lorraine Lenstadt, and that is, the funds are provided for that by the Narragansett No. 1 Foundation. We have a crafters group that meets twice a month on alternating Sundays from 1 to 3 p.m. And then on the other 2 alternating Sundays, we have a Lego club from 1 to 3 on Sundays as well. In the past year, the West Buxton Public Library and the Barry Memorial worked together to run a summer reading program and a community book group. And this year, our director, Carolyn, will be reaching out to the director of Berry Memorial to organize something else for the coming summer. We have 3 computers available for the public use, 2 Windows machines and 1 Apple computer, and they're able to do black and white printing as well as color printing capabilities. And lastly, the West Buxton Public Library is helping to contribute to a healthy and vibrant community by connecting people to information and connecting people to people. The library's mission generally revolves around providing access to information, fostering learning, and supporting community engagement through resources, programs, and shared spaces. So this year, our budget, it's changed, and we actually changed it in the middle of last year on how it was run. And last year, we asked for $18,800, and when I met with Treasurer Bill earlier this year, we only took $10,000 of that. And the director, due to state regulations that have come out, the director has been moved over to the town budget. So it now gets paid directly from the town. And so it's not currently in our budget. This year, we are requesting $9,950. We expect to raise in the vicinity of $3,500. And with that, we're not really raising anything. We're trying to operate as best we can on as little amount of money as we can. Just when we think of that money we're getting from the town of the $9,850, that we're paying, we have budgeted $2,200 for heating for that, plus that's for the lights for the building. It's also for our telephone service, plus all the other things that it takes to run the libraries. And there's money in there for our technology section to do the online library for checking books in and out, and for our web hosting services. So that's kind of where we're at this year, and if you have any questions.
So you're only asking for $9,950. The other 10 that was originally in is going to be put under you guys?
So you'll notice on the front sheet, and I should have sent this to you, Bart, my bad. The total request for West Buxton Library is $19,228. Of that, if you look on the second page down below, the number he was quoting was $9,850, which is the operating cost of the West Buxton, and then the library and salary is $9,378. So what's happening is for years, the West Buxton Library hasn't been kind of following IRS and state statutes pertaining to compensation to the librarian. So she actually gets paid out of, our payroll and stuff now. It's still charged to this line because she obviously is a West Buxton librarian. So I just added that in, and I should have sent Bart back the changes. I just didn't do it. Okay. So he's asking for $9,850 for operating costs, and then there's an additional $9,378, which is the salary cost for the librarian.
So that figures the whole budget now?
Absolutely correct.
Gotcha, thank you.
And in that salary part is included all the related costs?
Just salary.
Just salary.
Yeah. So do remember, any costs associated with like FICA Medicare or, insurances all comes out of that one line or two lines in administration, whether it's a librarian, recreation, public works, police, it all comes out of that line.
Okay. I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
The summer program where the two libraries collaborated, what kind of response came out of that from the?
It was minimal. I think they had 7 participants from the two libraries that participated in that event. And it went on for, I believe it was 10 weeks.
Okay. Was that amount anticipated, or were you hoping for more, or what?
I think we were always hoping for more. I'd say I was definitely hoping that it was going to be a little bit more, and we advertised it around town and through the websites and through social media with the Facebook. but we just didn't get a lot of participants.
From the 7 that participated, did you get a feedback from them on how they liked it, disliked it, would like something different?
No, it was good. We had raffle prizes for those that participated and met certain requirements, and I mean, they did enjoy it, and especially what they did is they came to a group consensus on what book they were going to read, out of a choice of 3 different ones, and then they discussed that book, and they all were very thrilled with the book.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Selectman? Bill?
So Bart, I got a couple questions for you. And I reached out to Valerie about this, and I guess I should have reached out to you guys. On our prior audits at the town, there was a separate fund called Summary Library Program. And it has to do with this. Is there a cash account associated with that program that stands alone?
No, not that I'm aware of. I don't ever recall getting funds from that account.
So Val believes that there was a Narragansett #1 Foundation grant that was years ago. That was
Right.
kind of standing alone, but she thought that money was gone.
Yeah, I assume that it is as well. I'm not sure how long ago that, because any grant that we've had from Narragansett #1 Foundation has been for a specific purpose. And and anything that we do with them, we provide how we spent that money and show that it
Yeah,
was.
right, because you have to
all-
report it to them, right, every year?
Right, yeah.
So my second question is this, Bart. We've been in communication to try to bring all of West Buxton Library's funds back into our coffers and have all of the expenses run out of here. I know when we talked that there could be somewhat of a problem with that with some of the expenses, but where are we with this?
Quite frankly, I was waiting for a call from you. I remember when we met last time, you said you would give me a call so that, because Karen was here and Carolyn, and we
Yep.
were going to discuss, come down and meet with you, discuss what we could bring over.
Okay, I thought there was supposed to be a meeting between you guys and the select board. Has that happened yet?
We did have that meeting, that was the same night.
Oh, it was?
We did have that meeting, and I was asked to get more quotes for painting the building.
Okay, yeah.
And provided those, but in the meantime, I believe Kurt is now
Yeah.
handling that.
Yes, yeah, he's dealing with the painting,
The
rot,
insulation.
and then the infestation of the rodents.
Right.
Okay, all right, so I'll give you a call or whatever, so we can keep
Yep.
talking about this and pushing this forward.
Right, yeah, we have another board meeting in April, but I mean, at the last board meeting, we're all on board with transferring what would make sense.
Okay.
For you over here.
All right, thanks, Bart.
Any further questions for?
No.
Thank you for coming in.
All right, thank you, appreciate
you.
it.
The Boy Scouts, Sunday I received a phone call from the Boy Scout master. He was in North Carolina and he wasn't gonna be able to get back in time to do the budget. So that's true of nobody here from the Cub Scouts either.
Who's that kid with? Wasn't he a Boy Scout?
Huh?
Wasn't he a Boy Scout?
Yeah.
He probably wasn't the leader, though, I'm
No,
assuming.
no, he's one of these scouts.
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
I thought he was Cub Scout, but he
He
said
must not
no.
got the message.
Okay, so the next one we got up is the Board of Appeals. You ready for that, Mike?
Appeals. It's got like 10 E's in it.
Oh, yeah, I guess I got enough E's in there, all right? I was just gonna follow pretty.
You ready?
The floor is yours.
Okay. Thanks for having me tonight. Appreciate you coming in, explain my budget. Salaries, so this is something new this year, where we did decide to include a salary for the board members. It will be broken down, the chairman will be getting $35 per hour, or per meeting, sorry. The vice chair will get 30 and the rest will get 25. That's based upon 24 meetings, but if we don't have the meetings, we don't get the money. And you have to show up for the meeting. If you don't show up for a meeting, you don't get the money. So hopefully it's a little bit of incentive to maybe help people show up and be prepared for that meeting's issues. So that total cost, if it was totally used, would be $33.60. Supplies, again, $50. I'm not quite sure what they use that on. I don't think it's ever been used, but. Okay, legal notices. So we have 250 in it. We actually added in another 1,500 for legal services to cover any outside attorneys that we have to use. We ran into a issue with a local resident trying to do some work. He hired an attorney. The attorney that he hired is the one that represents the town of Buxton. So we ended up having to go out and find another attorney to represent the Board of Appeals. So the 2,000 would actually, it's in training and workshop, but you're gonna move that, right?
So do remember, Michael, legal notices and legal services are a little different. Legal notices are something you're required to post.
Yep.
You know, depending on if there's a legal issue associated with the Board of Appeals. But the legal services, we will pull out of the training and workshop and create a separate line for legal.
Okay.
And that'll be for what you just said, for any time if you have to hire an attorney to deal with some kind of issue.
Okay. And so that would leave $300 for training. There are a lot of MMA courses that we're looking to have the members take. The first one we did, we tried to do it as one big group with one membership, but we can't do that anymore. So the last meeting we did, we had to actually pay for each person that attended, which is at about $40 a session. So going down the road, we're gonna look at, possibly having just the chairmans of the committees attend those, and then they can put together a package and give it to the members on their boards. We have a training class coming up April 3rd. We're gonna go, Patty is gonna create some scenarios so that we can go over them and, sort of take a look at exactly what we should be looking for. And there's certain questions that need to be asked in order for these appeals to be approved, so we'll work on that. We just have, let's see, I'm actually relatively new on the board. We have 2 other members that are brand new, and then we have 2 that have been on the board but not that long. So I think the training will help a lot in gathering the information needed to hear these cases.
One question?
No.
Well, I guess ask it anyway. If the situation that you mentioned where a citizen of the town hired an attorney, if the attorney was already connected with the town of Buxton,
Should have been a conflict of interest.
right, so why should the town of Buxton have to shell out more money?
So I'm not aware of the situation. However, if the town resident hires an attorney, but the attorney might be involved with the organization that we use, like Drummond and Woodsum, he may not be a direct attorney with the town, with the town, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So then Drummond and Woodsum themselves, they can't go against themselves. That's where it's a conflict of interest. So that's why the town wouldn't be able to charge, Drummond and Woodsum with that service, because the attorney that's representing the town resident is from Drummond and Woodsum.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
But if the attorney's from that company, corporation, and I guess I'm lost, I still don't understand how it's not a conflict. If he's working for Drummond and he comes and represents a resident, but he's done work for us, any kind of work, that to me would mean that he would have to excuse himself and not be able to take on that.
So what usually happens is, when a legal firm takes on a new client, they usually do a conflict of interest thingy. So obviously what probably didn't happen is that individual that took on that client didn't do that and realized that the town of Buxton was a client of Drummond and Woodson. I would assume that's what happened.
Oh, okay. All right, that's it. Any other questions? Oh, come on.
I'm sorry.
I think
He's just waiting.
I think the board's over their limit already. Go ahead.
I mean, I kind of have a big problem adding $3,300 to a board that's a volunteer board for salary.
Right. And the amount of work and the time that goes into that board, to have the volunteers is great, but I think they should be compensated. We are compensating the planning board, we compensate the selectmen.
Then, which I get, but then where does it end?
Where does it end? Well, I understand, I'm pretty sure that the budget committee is gonna be being compensated. I think even though it's volunteer, you're having people give up their time, so a little bit of compensation, $25 a meeting, what does that even do? It doesn't really do anything. I understand what you're saying, and that 3,300 is if we were to have all the meetings. If we look at the rate that we're going now, this year alone, we've only had 4. And this wouldn't go into effect until June 30th. And I just think it's, I think it's a little bit of appreciation to say thank you for these guys that are giving up their time. Some of these cases can go on for a couple of meetings. And
Do remember, these boards aren't volunteer, they're actually elected.
You're elected.
oh, that's right.
Some were appointed because there's
Right.
vacancies, but they're elected. They have to run for the office. So it's not just anybody showing up.
So really, what's happening is, we had a conversation with the select board, and all we're trying to do is for any elected board member, whether you're an appeals board, a planning board, a select board, or a budget board, if you're an elected board member, we're trying to make it equal and making sure everybody's compensated. Because why should the planning board be compensated when they're elected, but the appeals board and the budget board, who are also elected, are not compensated?
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I think, I don't agree with it, but that's just my opinion. That's all.
All right, good. Anything else?
I agree.
Nope.
Thank you.
You do have the record for the highest increase in your budget. I hope you realize.
Good point.
Okay?
Really?
And being of the budget committee, it's a little shocking that you did that too.
I guess I do have one question, Mike. Who's going to keep track of who's at the meeting?
We're gonna start doing an attendance. So Roxanne, who's at all the meetings, will start doing an attendance for the people that are there, and then that way we'll be able to track on who's getting the money and who's not.
And it is recorded on TV also.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm good. Sure. Yep.
You all good, Selectman? Bill? All
Good? Good? Perfect.
right, thank you.
I'll try to keep the budget down next year.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Going to Eagle Park.
All right, so I flat-funded the budget of the grand, and it's pretty much just to cover the toilets. I've only been I guess it's a board member, I don't know what they call them on there.
Trustee.
Trustee, there you go.
Trustee.
I've only been there about not even a year yet, actually, so, the only concern that I've heard from the public over the last year is they would like a couple signs on, that road there that goes down to the park, letting people know what road they should take to go down to the, because I guess a lot of vehicles have been going down the other side there where the dirt road is. So I talked to Kevin Kimball at Public Works, and he's gonna help me put up a couple, use this road for boat access. I don't exactly know what that cost is, but I do have a carry forward that's gonna be going in over from this current year to next year. I'll just use that money for that purchase. The only other concern that I know of off the top of my head is the boat launch is getting ragged, I guess you'd say. It's uneven. It's just not good. So, once I start spending a little bit more time down at the park, I'll probably, one of these years, have to come with a request to maybe upgrade or do something with the boat launch. Any questions?
I got a quick one.
Sure, go ahead.
You said there was a budget adjustment of 2189?
Yep.
What was that for?
That's the carry forward.
Okay.
Yep. And actually, I think the carry forward would actually be the budget adjustment minus the budget, so I think it was like 1,100 or something like that. So if you look at like the total budget and then the original budget, it'd just be the difference what the budget adjustment was.
Thank you.
So, okay.
Question, so talking about that carry forward, I know there's going to be the change that a lot of the departments are not going to be allowed to carry forward. Like the parks.
Parks will be one that is carrying forward.
Is carrying forward, okay.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, and you know what? Can we talk about something while I'm here, but too?
Yeah.
And I'm glad there's a couple select board members here. I know code enforcement is getting ready to propose their budget to the select board. And if you remember correctly, she put in her budget last year, the $25,000 for just in case contracted, like if a septic system or something went down.
Yeah.
Are we planning on carrying that forward? Because I thought it was in the article that we were going to carry that forward. We are? So I think when you guys asked me that question maybe a couple weeks ago about carry forwards, I do agree that the amount's going to go way down, but there are going to be some carry forward accounts like that one there, the parks, cemeteries, libraries, trash cans until it's spent. So there will be some carry forwards. It just won't be, I think the last 2 years, it's been close to $1 million. It definitely won't be anywhere near that this year.
When you look at parks, you got the porta potties, Pleasant Point has the porta potties, Carroll Park's gonna have them. Where does the cost get determined on how much it is per month? Because I look at the two that are in front of us tonight, and they're both different numbers.
So I use the same really?
You got 150?
Oh, well, remember, so the one at Bonnie Eagle Park is just one, and it's the handicapped. So, but the ones at the Pleasant Point, they get a regular one and they get a handicap one. So the handicap ones are 150 and the regular ones are 100. Okay? And who gets the cost? So usually what happens is we've been using the same company every year. And usually Crystal Dyer, the AP lady, she usually gets the prices, usually probably around February, early March on what the costs are gonna be. I don't think they've gone up in years, to be honest with you. I know David Field, who's the Pleasant Point trustee, reached out to Mark Blyer about checking with Blow Brothers prices, and their prices weren't competitive to what we're already getting.
Okay, so the prices that are in front of us tonight are the current prices that are gonna be used for 25, 26?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And they're cheaper than any other prices we could find.
Correct.
We went, talked to A1, we talked to Blow Brothers, and there was one other one, and they were significantly higher, and the service wasn't as good.
Correct.
And that's the only company that's used in the town of Buxton?
Yes.
The one that's priced here, yes, which is porta potty, right? Is that what it's called?
The only thing when I talked to Crystal was that she was having problems with them cleaning them.
You know what's funny, Sheridan, is the quotes we got from the other companies, they want to charge us to clean them. This company doesn't charge us to clean them. And that's the reason why, Sheridan, we looked around, because we were having issues with this company telling them the dirty what. But the good thing is that when we tell them that they're dirty, they will finally come out and clean them, but they won't charge you for it. The other companies we looked at, that David had, Mark and whoever else look at, each time you came out to clean them, they wanted to charge you a separate cleaning price.
There's no good company out there.
Was that other one by any chance Faulkner? Does that ring a bell?
He sold out, I think, or is selling out.
Oh, yeah, okay,
We asked, it was a company that Tom uses, Peters,
yep,
and we talked to them, and I just can't remember the name of it, I'm sorry.
okay. And the only reason I'm asking those questions is because we're gonna be putting together Carroll Park, and I wanna make sure I have the right numbers also.
These are current, these should be the current numbers for the current fiscal year coming out. Yep, 100%.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, all set?
Any further questions? Seeing none, thank you, Bill. Pleasant Point back.
By the way, his budget's 7 times more than mine.
My park is 20 times bigger.
Yeah, I knew you were going to have an answer, Dave.
So this year, I'm asking for the park for the same amount. We get 2 single porta potties and a handicap. That's $1,750 for the year. Doggy bags, they're $150. We kind of buy them by the case with Town Farm to get a little better price, but they're just so much money, and we use a ton of them. We use 3 cases a year, so that's really, that was doggy bags. Trash bags for the trash retainers. We need another new pet waste station at Pleasant Point. One got run over, and we really need it down by the point, so we're gonna get another one. Walking bridge repairs, it's an ongoing thing. They're wooden bridges. We've replaced, I think, 8 bridges, wooden bridges with culverts, so we don't have this problem. They're plastic culverts, and they seem to be working really, really well. And then miscellaneous, it's just fixing signs, things like that. Erosion control, that's our big thing we save up for. 2 years ago, we had the access ramp done, and we were in plans to have, down at the point, put some rocks down there so that it wouldn't continue to erode. But the water was too high all last summer, so they couldn't do it. We still have the permit, and we've still been in touch with Pinkham to do it. But we need the water to be a little bit lower than it was last summer. So that's why, the carryover is, to do that completely would be like $100,000.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna do it that much. We're gonna do a section, the worst part, and, in a couple more years, we'll try to do a little more. And this year here, we replaced 2 picnic tables, and we went with the cement tables because we don't have any problem with people breaking them. Every year, 1 or 2 of the wooden ones get broken or rot out, and we've gone to the cement ones. They're, $1,600, but they don't break, and we have 3 of them now, 4 of them now, and they're standing up real good, and they look good, and we don't have to worry about lawsuits or anything like that. So, and we're putting them in the most busiest areas, and we did put them on cement. We poured a pad for them. Public Works helped with that. We did have some tree removal this year. We had some, because of one of the storms, we had quite a few trees come down. So we had Ira from down here on 202. He came down and cut the tree down because it was hung up and Public Works couldn't do it. And they came and cut it up, and then Public Works hauled it away for us. So Public Works has done quite a bit for us, with the big stuff, because it's just Donna and I, and Donna's 80-something, so we do as much as we can. We chipped last year, the trails. It's about it. We try to keep it picked up and clean, and Public Works does help a lot, and Donna picks up every day when she walks it, so.
About how many people go through the park in a year?
I know in the summertime, the parking lot's full every day.
Yep.
On the weekends now, there's always, any day you go by there at lunchtime-ish, you know, a couple hours before, there's got to be 5 or 6 cars there, people walking their dogs, snowshoeing. You know, now that the trails are a little better than they used to be, it seems like there's more people, families coming out. Sunday morning's a busy time. It seems like people come and walk the trails with their kids and dogs. So other than the parking lot always having cars in it, you know, we didn't really have too much trouble this year. Police were down there quite a bit. They lock the gate every night at 8 o'clock, and then we unlock it in the morning. The reason they lock it, in case there's somebody there, they can address it. We're just trustees, and nobody wants to hear what we have to say. So, but the police have been very good. We haven't had the parking problems that we have had in the past because they're kind of on it, you know, and they do ticket people now if they do park where they're not supposed to, and that does seem to help. And they've caught people drinking, and they give them tickets and take the stuff away from them, and I really believe it's helped a lot. So.
Do you have to chain the picnic tables?
No, they're too heavy. We put them in with a loader, so.
There you go, steal those.
Yeah, they're heavy. So,
thought
but
one
the
broke
wooden
this
ones are chained down.
Yeah.
I thought one of the cement ones broke this year.
Someone backed into it, and it broke just the, where you sit, and we replaced it. And now there's a rock there, so nobody could back into it.
Well, they can.
Well, you know, we got a load of rocks, and we had a truck that went down one of the trails, got stuck, drove over the rocks, so we got bigger rocks. You know, just stupid people sometimes. You can't do anything about it, as much as you try.
How many car spots are there again? How many spots for vehicles are there?
I
Most of
wouldn't,
the time, it's enough.
I have no clue, really. There's got to be enough room for 50 cars there,
Yeah.
I would think.
Good
I've
enough.
never measured it out, but,
Well, thanks for what the two of you do. Appreciate it.
yeah, people can't park right anyway, so. But, you know, we've done a lot with what we have, and, you know, again, we keep asking for volunteers, and if it wasn't for Public Works helping us, we wouldn't be able to keep up. And they may not spend a lot of time, but they empty the trash 3 times a week now, and they go to all the parks and do that, which really helps. And if a big tree falls, they go cut it up. So.
Good.
They've been a big help.
Any further questions for?
Nope,
Mr.
thank you.
What's that? Yep. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That will conclude the budget committee meeting for tonight. We'll have one next Tuesday. I believe we're going to do fire.